Everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
Tai Lopez, are you a scam artist?
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but let's say it was.
We all remember the fake YouTube gurus promising wealth, success, and freedom from the 9-to-5 grind. Hundreds from every industry trying their hand at suckering their audience into buying a course with little to no value. But it's with one person where it all began, Tai Lopez. A name that is echoed throughout the YouTube space. He started his channel in August 2013, while YouTube was still in its infancy, and assumed the persona of a very successful investor and entrepreneur, all before anyone even knew about YouTube's money-making potential. This goes back to his first video, how to get things done and stop sucking your thumb.
I get. People are like, Tai, will you post your routine? How do you get stuff done?
While some of these early videos are very insightful, they would unfortunately not remain that way for long. It would become quite clear that Tai Lopez is a brilliant, well-spoken person who encourages self-improvement through reading. But in an attempt to inspire others or build credibility, he would occasionally sprinkle in glimpses of his lavish lifestyle.
Now this is a 56-door house, got I think 18 bedrooms.
He kept trying to flaunt his wealth, as his expensive cars, mansions, and designer clothes were always in the background of his videos. And while Tai Lopez loved showing off his lifestyle, the real question on everyone's mind at the time was, how did he make all this money? But in an ironic case of foreshadowing, he would upload a video called The Real Scam, Tai Lopez on How You've Been Lied to.
You know, people say to me, hey Tai, the stuff you talk about reading in books and success, what if people perceive it as a get-rich-quick scheme and all this? And I say, hey, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but let's say it was. Is that the big thing that people should be calling out as a scam? Is that the big boycott that should be being talked about?
Before YouTube was even a thing, he owned a company called Elite Global Dating LLC. This was way before Tinder, and revolutionary because it was a dating website that was free to sign up, while others had a paywall behind them. Unlike many other websites at the time, this one would guarantee some sort of communication, increasing your chances of landing a date. The site was incredibly successful, but unlike Andrew Tate, who frequently discusses his webcam business and how it built the foundation for his success, Tai Lopez kept this chapter of his life a secret. The reason? You guessed it. It was a scam. Once you received a message, you would have to pay to unlock them. And the senders? They weren't real people either. Tai either sent them himself or would use a bot. The messages were generic, but curated in an enticing way. This forced users into paying more money if they wanted to keep using the service. He created one of the first iterations of the subscription-based model we see everywhere today. What made Tai Lopez's subscription-based model really scummy was that it was difficult to cancel. According to Blogspot, users would sign up, realize the dating website was a poor service, try to cancel, but have no idea how to, as the terms and conditions were very confusing. To make matters worse, the lucky few who managed to cancel were still getting billed. Some never even signed up, but was still getting billed. And in extreme cases, over $200 in unauthorized charges were taken directly from people's accounts. This would cause thousands of people to complain about the site, and when the heat was too much, Tai would close down the website and repeat the process all over again. This is hugely unethical, but it built the foundation for what was to come. It's why you never hear him speak publicly about it or found anything about it on his LinkedIn pages, as he tried to scrub the internet from that part of his life. However, he did not do such a great job, as here he is speaking at a dating conference in 2011 and recognized as the owner of datinghype.com. Using the Wayback Machine, an online tool that allows users to access archived versions of websites from the past, you can see in black and white Tai Lopez, the owner of datinghype.com. Tai would in turn make a few dollars from thousands of people at a time, which made him very rich. But it also gave him the confidence to preach about how easy it is to make money from a passive income, because he doesn't explain that you have to scam people to do it.
This is a scam? I mean, I see all kinds of things. Throughout my life, I've bought all kinds of things that people thought were get-rich-quick schemes. I remember I bought Carlton sheets. I think I spent $300. And it taught you the basics. I got a little binder in the mail. It taught me the basics of investing in real estate. And I remember thinking, this was worth $300.
He started buying more things. One purchase in particular was about to change his life forever.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
The video went mega viral at a time when YouTube was still young. The video set the internet on fire. Viewers kept noticing how it was a shameless attempt at self-promotion. The phrase "here in my garage" became a meme, with hundreds of other creators parodying the video.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Honda Civic here. Fun to drive around in the Florida heat. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Bullshit.
But while many would be discouraged at the prospect of being made fun of, Tai saw this as an opportunity. He started selling online courses on subjects he knew very little about, with almost no experience. With a little bit of regurgitation and a great memory, he positioned himself perfectly to promote get-rich-quick schemes, with some of these courses costing upwards of $7,000.
I'm curious, I'm actually curious about your real estate chops, all right? So give me the formula for a cap rate. Can you define what a cap rate is?
So let's talk about real estate for a second. Let's two.
No. Define the formula of a cap rate. Do you know what a cap rate is?
Absolutely. Cap rate
What is it?
It's like ROI in the stock market. They call it
No,
cap
it's
rate.
not.
Going forward, almost every video he uploaded was posted for the sole purpose of getting his community to fork out huge expenses for knowledge readily available on YouTube for free. With each upload, his notoriety increased, and so did his reputation of scamming his audience. To make matters worse, he started uploading content to his channel that had the course material in it, meaning those who bought the course did it all for nothing. This even led Logan Paul himself asking Tai the question everyone wanted to know.
Yeah. And everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
Tai Lopez, are you a scam artist?
It depends on what you define as scam.
All the negative feedback only seemed to fuel Tai, because this was when he came up with his masterpiece, 67 Steps to Success. And the whole idea was to break down the journey to success in 67 steps, a step-by-step blueprint to building a profitable business. In theory, it's an excellent idea, pitched as motivational training which inspires people to take charge of their lives, packed with all the information needed to build a successful business, all for the cost of only $67. It seems great value for money, and it even includes a money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied with your purchase. But like anything he did, the course lacked anything worth paying for. Take a look at the reviews on his website, and you will see it's nothing short of a disappointment. And the money-back guarantee? Yes, you guessed it. Most people who try to get a refund were met with little to no customer service. They did not answer calls or emails, and those who were tied up in a subscription found it impossible to cancel. Sound familiar? That's because this was eerily reminiscent to his first scam, the online dating business he started. As one user stated, the secret to his wealth, well, that's the part you eventually figure out when you buy his course, as you pay $67 for a tour of his home. As you can imagine, this made Tai Lopez insanely rich, and for his next business venture, he started a company called Retail E-Commerce Venture, aka Rev Enterprises, with his business partner Alex Murr in 2019. Alex also made his money from creating dating sites, similar to Tai, which is how the pair met at a dating conference and they kept in touch. The idea was actually good. Acquire bankrupt retail companies with the intention of turning them into an online e-commerce behemoth, without the expense of running physical stores. And while Tai and Alex were both very wealthy at this point, They invited investors to join them and managed to acquire over $200 million from investors to fund all these purchases. They bought Medals for $3.6 million, Steinmart for $6 million, Pier 1 for $20 million, and the most infamous purchase of Radioshack all in 2020. They had this ambitious idea to turn the once juggernaut into a decentralized exchange in a crypto industry that was making millionaires at every turn.
Alex, let's talk radio and Radioshack. Radio token, Shack token, taking an iconic American brand and making it move into the crypto world.
By 2022, he had his token and ecosystem running, but he needed another great marketing campaign. So he got access to Radioshack's Twitter and went to work. With some infamous tweets such as, "Anyone remember those cool robots we used to sell called eye ladies?" With Twitter user Scoob replying, "We don't care," and Tai responding, "Eye ladies balls on your face, Scoob." And everyone's favorite, "If you find a squirter, marry her." He memed his way to success before, and this was his attempt to do it again. People who grew up going to Radioshack wanted in, but unfortunately for them, the reality was far harsher.
This has been such a fast-moving story.
Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas, and we got that confirmation from the Bahamas Attorney General.
The crypto market took an immediate hit with the collapse of FTX, shaking confidence across the board. And with internet watchdogs like CoffeeZilla determined to expose potential fraudsters, it was only a matter of time before Tai Lopez found himself squarely in his sights. And immediately Coffee noticed the first issue with his crypto approach, starting with the white paper's unorthodox format.
Most white papers or technical documents describe what they do, what these tokens do, like in math terms, right? It's mostly just numbers and economics. This has very little of that, very little math, and it makes up for that in famous people quotes from books Tai has read.
CoffeeZilla found that Radioshack was just another scam to run away with people's money. Radioshack promised a 20% return for those who invested over $100,000. But of course, this never happened. A few months later, the coin plummeted, losing a staggering 99% of its value. Radioshack was left to absorb the fallout, ultimately forced into bankruptcy under the weight of the scheme. And Tai, he got away with it scot-free, netting himself over $2 million from this crypto scheme alone, selling the company to some poor sucker, once again leaving the mess behind him. But while Tai is off driving into the sunset, a huge storm appears to be brewing behind him. The investors at Rev Enterprises seem to believe they have been duped out of $120 million. A WhatsApp group of 50 investors were created, and they are currently in negotiations to try and recover what's left of their investment. According to YouTuber Scott Schaefer, who was granted access to this WhatsApp group, saw messages like, "Apparently Tai and Alex are the keys to the plan. Hope we don't have to sign a covenant not to sue." If they indeed raise funds under false pretenses, the bankruptcy won't shield them from potential liability. None of these businesses Tai and Alex bought were able to establish a successful online brand like they planned. Brands like Pier 1 Imports and Modals, which used to distribute exclusive merchandise, were now battling product rivaling Temu at a fraction of the scale. In 2022, Rev Enterprises was bleeding cash and near bankruptcy. So Tai and Alex brought on new investors making outlandish claims that were starting to look incredibly suspect. Claims like, "Did you realize that for every 300k invested, we will send you $60,000 per year?" Or, "We've already paid over $25 million to investors." But the final email sent out was by far the worst. Tai and Alex used the money to keep Rev afloat and buy a controlling stake in the dying home decor company Tuesday morning. But both plans failed spectacularly because in early 2023, Tuesday morning had to declare bankruptcy, and not too long after, so did the other 10 businesses Tai and Alex owned. After months of being ignored by Tai and his management, they believe a lawsuit is the only way to recover some of their money. As the story reaches the mainstream, only time will tell whether they or countless others will receive justice for their stolen money, or if Tai has yet another plan to avoid accountability, as he has done so many times before.